All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing this word with truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And once again, a couple brothers back from the Great Millstone Houston camp, and my brother Korah Abad, and the Elder Tazapah, the beloved Elder Tazapah, back this week. You know, so Lord, we get it and get it rolling. We ain't got too much, but we do want to touch on some things that's been in the news. Some y'all probably seen elders, apostles touch on to talk about, but nevertheless, it's all adding towards prophecy. But Elder Tazapah, you got anything?
No, we gonna get into it.
Con. Yeah, so let's share the screen. And like I said, this will probably be a fairly quick one, but most importantly, Lord willing, it do be edifying. Now, on top of because I'm gonna say this too, with the election coming up, a lot of the news that's been shown, of course, is gonna be directed towards Trump and Kamala, and Kamala vice president and Trump vice president with JD Vance and Waltz. A lot of attention will be given to the American election. So when we hit these news sites, uh, one, a lot of propaganda will be put out. Two, I know you spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, Elder Tazapah, you and Elder Ariala on vetting information that's being put out. Because a lot of stuff right now that's being put out is being published too, and really, as we're gonna get this document right here, that's where I get it from too. But a lot of stuff that have been put out was put out to lead the people or for a smoke screen. A lot of things like these mosquitoes. It's so many different viruses that's going around, different sicknesses, different plagues. A lot of distractions. But you gonna start having some things in the news that's gonna be blatant to get people attention away from Esau real plans. Now again with this mosquito thing that's going around, this may be the one or it may not be. Regardless, it's many sicknesses, many diseases that's coming to America and the world. Right now, so we'll hit on this first, touching on that mosquito plague, as they say, been going around. And then we'll get into play the Snyder report video, because what we go into is that you have U.S. cities locking down again and schools are closing because of these diseases. And also we're gonna talk about this 2025 prediction or expectation. So I start with this one right here. So this is from End Time Headlines, and this was put out today. So it says New England prepares for mosquitoes bearing deadly infections. And this is New England and Massachusetts. It says, as Massachusetts insect season goes from bad to worse, the risk of mosquito-borne illnesses is hitting a new high. Health officials are urging residents to take precautions against diseases like West Nile virus and Eastern equine encephalitis, also known as triple E. Several towns in Plymouth or Worcester counties began spraying for mosquitoes this week to decrease the threat. It says the spraying is one solution, but it's not the only solution, according to the Plymouth Commissioner of Health Services. Now, that's just a part of that. Now, this is going to mention it too. And again, all these kind of touch on the same information because it's hot, and I really just want to play the video and let him speak on it because he's going to give pretty much the same information. And at any time, Elder Tazapah, let me know if you got something.
All right.
So you also got this article, End Time Headlines. Again, this was put out yesterday. It says mosquito virus claims life of man in New Hampshire and curfew put in place. In New York City to spray, health officials give grim warning. Now, it's pretty much say the same thing. Okay, I'm going to read this little part. It says New York City, just to show New York getting into it to try to prevent it as well. It says New York City is planning to spray pesticides to help prevent the spread of mosquitoes and potential diseases. And that's the thing. They saying they spraying. That's why you can't never trust Esau. They spraying. They saying they spraying things to prevent sicknesses. But who knows what this spray, what these chemicals are that they put in the air?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You was about to
Go
say
ahead.
something?
No, no, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, because that ain't far fetched. There's a such thing as chemtrails. They already putting stuff in there in the food. But it says the announcement comes days after Anthony Fauci, former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases director, and the government's top infectious disease official during the pandemic, was hospitalized with with the West Nile. So Fauci, he got the West Nile now. You know, he's supposedly resting up. But it says last Wednesday, several areas of Massachusetts were placed under voluntary curfew after one elderly man contradicted the dangerous and often fatal Eastern equine encephalitis virus and was hospitalized. And it says also both in Vermont and New Jersey. And it's, the CDC is on top of it. They say. I want to get a quick precept though, real quick. The second Ezra 15. Second Ezra 15. Now, one would think that just because it's bugs, insects, that this is not a plague that could be sent from the Heavenly Father. Because this happened before. The Lord sent plagues like this in Egypt as before. Flies to plague people, fleas to plague those Egyptians, so on and so forth. These mosquitoes could be sent to plague these people as well. Who knows? But again, this is just one thing to look out for. Not saying that this next thing that's going to lead these people to their death going to be mosquitoes. No, there's just one thing to look out for since it's hot. And again, we're gonna play this video because that's why some schools and cities are locking down in America because of this thing. The point is, who know where it can lead to. Remember, the CV was a test run. That wasn't a test run just for Esau. That was a test. That was a test run for us too. Because when it comes to the real deal, he gonna take some of those things he did in a test run and use them now. Back in CV, you might have 5 people in the city that got it, then 20 people in this country that got it, then 5 over here in New York that got it. Then eventually what? It started moving fast, things got shut down, and the whole world was shut down. Things changed. And they began to say what? It was going to be voluntary until it was mandatory. You got it though, Elder Tazapah?
Oh no, I was just gonna say when you bring that scripture out, and then I have a scripture too.
Con. This second Ezra, I'm gonna start up a little bit. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. I just want to look at the word plague.
Beautiful.
It says plague, contagious bacterial disease characterized by fever, delirium, typically with the formation of buboes or bubonic plague, and sometimes infection of the lungs, pneumonic plague. And that's what a lot of these different things like mosquitoes they give off, or the effects of it.
But see, they describing the physical aspect of plague, but as we know from the Apocrypha as well, the book of Sirach, he stated, give me any plague but the plague of the heart or spirit. So you got spiritual plagues. And this is what the Most High is hitting the world with, these spiritual plagues. And of course, they're going to play out in the physical because it's for the judgment of the physical, the people. But initially, these plagues are spiritual, you know. But yeah, brother, go ahead.
Con. It says, 2 Ezra 5 and 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole world, the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And it's the point I wanted. Verse 10, it says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Now, this is not talking about the ancient Egypt that our forefather Moses, Aaron, brought us out of. This talking about the spiritual Egypt. Esdras was way after the first Egypt. This Revelation 11 and 8, this place we living in now, if you're in America. But watch what it say about this new spiritual Egypt. Now remember, what's some of the plagues the Lord brought on the first one? Yes, little insects like flies to plague the people, man. And it seemed like a small thing, but say if you lock, you're in a room, you got one fly in there, that's aggravating. Fleas or lice. You see? It says, this is what the Lord gonna do. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before. So just like before, the Lord used simple things as little insects, little bugs to bring terror to the people, to put some confusion in the earth and fear into those Egyptians, man. Well, he gonna use some of those same tactics today in America. And again, it might, mosquitoes just a hot topic that's in the news right now. It might be something else next week, killer cicadas or something like that. Who knows? But it says, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. You got advertiser power?
Yeah, one of the plagues was deep, thick darkness. You know, that's that's not bodily, but it affects your mental. It affects your spirit, your psyche, your soul. That's how the Most High get down. That's why he said in Matthew 10 and 28, fear not him who's able to only destroy the body, but fear him who's able to destroy both body and soul in hell. The Most High can torment you, you know, and then that's all this is torments, you know. And I just wanted to go back on what you said with Elder Ariala. He brought up about, just be diligent in vetting these articles, and not that the mosquito story is fake, because like I said, okay, you got it up on the screen now. They preconditioned the people, since you said that came out in 2020, right?
Yep, right here. August 20th, 2020.
So the people have been conditioned already that, oh shit, these genetically modified mosquitoes, and what is this going to do to the ecosystem? What is this going to do if I get bit by one of these mosquitoes? But they've had this story buzzing around for the last at least 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is what I'm in the opinion of. Well, what if this is just a cover? These mosquitoes, a cover for what you're about to go into. Well, you're gonna play the video, but covering the 6 billion people they want to die. Now the mosquitoes could play a part in that, but maybe they're conditioning the people now for when they start to fire off these frequencies and
That's
send
it.
these signals. They already got a culprit. They already have uh, plausible deniability. No, it's the mosquitoes. Because if it start getting out that, yeah, it's the government, they sending signals, or whoever, you know, um, and maybe they're at the point where they don't care. But if that start getting out, it could be bad for business. So maybe they're getting out in front of what they want to do and putting these stories out to get you to believe that we got all of these diseased mosquitoes out here. So when little Susie get a hemorrhagic fever, you blame the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes. That's not your friendly local neighborhood government killing you. it's these mosquitoes. I don't know where these mosquitoes come from. They
Mm-hmm.
just all of a sudden, all these mosquitoes. But see, that's why you got to stay vigilant, because a lot of people not going to remember that article that you got on the screen right now. But that's my opinion. It could be some killer mosquitoes out there, but this could be a cover story. So, and that's what make these end times great. you
Come.
know, we we in uncertain times. Even the prophets that know what's coming is still uncertain times, and not that it's uncertain that what we gonna do, or what's coming, but uncertain of how and when things are gonna go down. But yeah, well, to go with that, all right, because I just want to go to Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and kick it off at verse 8. It says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." All right. You go into it, brother.
Come.
I'm gonna kick it off again. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth,
And that's
and
exactly
shall
what. So
go
like
ahead.
you can
Go
finish it.
ahead. It says, uh, "and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Now, throughout world history, especially in modern times, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was able to disguise himself. Hide the name of Edom and put other nations' name on him, like the small hats or the Egyptians, so on and so forth. But it was set for a appointed time for the Lord to show who this man really is, who is the wicked according to the Bible. And that's what we seeing. And how's the Lord doing it? By way of sending the prophets out and exposing Esau's plans. Then shall that wicked be revealed, who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Matter of fact, I'll get this real quick, Elder Tazapah, which
Mm-hmm.
us speaking gonna lead to Yahushua coming, and that's who gonna destroy him with the brightness of his coming. But real quick, this Second Corinthians 2 and 11, it says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Because now, again, the Lord is exposing Esau, putting his information out for the public to see. But the thing is, it's only for those, like the elder just said, who gonna pay attention. And I 100% agree with what you just said too, because it makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes
it
so
makes
much sense.
sense. But go ahead, brother.
No, that's it. It makes so much sense because one, remember they put this article out 4 years ago saying, oh, 750 million. That's what they told you, how many they told you it was. 150 million genetically engineered mosquitoes. And now we know Esau, he like to do things in advance. But now all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, in all mainstream media on the news, even like this dude go saying a video, him and his child was in a store or whatever. This all they put in the people's faces to get their mind conditioned on this what it is, mosquitoes. And you know what else? Remember a couple of weeks ago at the Toss of Power, we played that Simpsons clip. And they said, let's bring a sickness. And they said, what kind of sickness? And he said, well, a sickness that, well, let's use an
Yep,
animal.
yep,
He said,
yep.
an animal that's around everybody. This at
Yeah,
the same
that's beautiful.
time.
Come
Mhm.
on, brother, your pop.
And
Yeah,
look, check it out, Elder Taza Part. This at the same time they want you to stay in the house and lock down. So it will make sense to let's use an animal or insect that's outside. That's outside. So the
yeah, hey,
mosquitoes
that's
go outside.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah. You see how this thing works when the spirit, is dealing. You can put two and two together. You know, the scriptures say in Proverbs 1. You might know the verses. It's up at the top, 2 or 3. That these scriptures can make wise the simple. You know, I ain't studied Illuminati. I ain't sat at none of these board meetings. I don't know, you know, these people. But through the spirit, you talk about that with Which prophet was? Oh, Daniel. You know, he knew Nebuchadnezzar's dream. You know,
Mhm.
and that's like us. The Lord revealed these secrets to us. But yeah, you got something?
I think this what you call for is in Psalms though. Psalms 19 and
Oh, what
7,
it
it
say?
says,
I
"It's
can't
as the
see it.
law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple."
Oh, okay, come on. That's one. Let me see. Maybe. All right. Yeah, no, that's a good one though. And you can speak on it.
Kind of that's it. It says the testimony of the Lord. It says it's sure. What's the testimony? This truth that we have been given. We say the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, and it's sure. And what the elder just said, we was one symbol, but that's how now we understand what's going on. Man, just like Elisha, he knew the war strategy of the Assyrian king. He was able to evade him. The Lord letting us know the same thing, and it's amazing. Psalms 23. In the midst of our enemies, he preparing the table and letting us know all this information, man.
Yep, that's it.
You got to do all the talks about.
Yeah, I worded it wrong. It says subtlety. All right. So Proverbs 1 and 4. Matter of fact, this is Proverbs 1 and 1. It says the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and instruction. So yeah, that word subtlety basically goes into wisdom or prudence. You know, It's- uh, in Genesis it speaks about the serpent being the most subtle beast of the field. All right, he was wise, cunning. He was, you know, he was sharp. But now, see, the tables are turning. The Lord has given us that, and taking it from the serpent and his seeds. But yeah, going back, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9, and it says, even him, referring to the wicked in verse 8, all right, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. You see, and really I could stop right there because this is what we're dealing with, these lying wonders, through his media machine, his press and his publications. He's able to, among the simple, make a lie into the truth. All right, a lying wonder. But let's get 10. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, all right, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. So the very unrighteous nature of the people makes them cling to these deceptions. That's why people flocked in droves to go get that juice. All right. They was under the deceivableness of their own unrighteousness because the Lord wants them to perish. That's why they went and got it. Those who in the book of life, they said, man, fuck that juice. I ain't getting no, what the fuck is that? You get no goddamn juice. And by juice, I mean the solution that they gave everybody to the Pandeezy. It was about four of them. You had Johnson and Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna, and there was one more. I think it was four, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And so again, 2 Thessalonians 2:10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. And see, that's the root cause of the problems of the world today. People just don't have the love of the truth, which makes them unrighteous, which makes them gullible, easily to deceive, that they might be saved. All right, end of verse. So you got it out.
That's it.
So just going back, this whole thing could be a game, with the mosquitoes. That could just be Esau running game. But we'll find out here shortly. That's the beauty of it. We at the end. All things are moving fast. So we don't have to wait years down the road. We'll probably find out before this year is out. But you got it out.
Shit, we might find out before the next live show. Shit,
How things are going, yeah. Come on.
But hey, check this out. Because so this one, right? Because again, Esau, we it's clear kind of how we can see his plans easily now. Because what's been happening in the U.S. these past couple months, you've been having all these immigrants come from Central South America, so on and so forth. Now, I was reading this article, a sloth fever, again, dealing with mosquitoes, that 21 people in the U.S. got. And this how you know Esau setting stuff up, because where they coming from and where people getting it from, whether they going to this place and coming back, or if you from that place and coming here, guess where it's at? Central and South America. So now there's another thing they can even use to say, well, look at the immigrants. They the ones doing it. They come in to add more division and hate towards the citizens of America and these immigrants. But, just something to point out,
Yeah. Yep.
Matter of fact, I'll read this quickly when it says large outbreaks in the Amazon regions where it was known to exist, as well as in new areas in South America and the Caribbean. About 8,000 locally acquired cases have been reported in Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, and Peru. Some travelers have been diagnosed with it in the U.S. and Europe. The CDC.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says the CDC have said Tuesday 21 cases been reported so far, 20 in Florida and 1 in New York, all who have been in Cuba. See? So, and it said in Europe they got 19 cases. But again, I'm gonna play this video. He gonna speak on these lockdowns that's coming from this, and let me know if you got some water video going on. Stopping. And Shalom to Allah Akim Akwath, maybe tuning in. Y'all Bashma Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, the brother Yahweh said Massachusetts got locked down from the mosquitoes. But let's go ahead and play the vid. Now, this from Snyder Reports. This was put out a day ago. It says new United U.S. cities face lockdown and schools closed.
There's no sound, Doc.
Oh, hold on, Slack it. The water. There we go. And two, before I played, and the difference is now that I'm seeing too is that in the CV it was more cases because that was like a new thing that they had to see before locking down. Now it ain't. They don't need that. For example, in one place, I think he gonna say it in one city, it was just one man. He told everybody to lock down because now they're gonna overdo it, try to as far as protection and prevention. So all they need is a few cases now. They don't need just everybody to start getting it no more.
So even more U.S. cities are potentially locking down, and now schools are closing. Yeah, schools in 2 different states, Alabama and Tennessee, have decided to close because of another virus. And
now I'm gonna let him play it, but that's Alabama and Tennessee on top of what's going on in New York, what they say, New Jersey, as we spoke about earlier.
More spreading. So I want to break down what's going on at this time, what we are seeing, why this is happening, At this exact time, again, we're just months away from a presidential election, a major election, and some say this is the reason why it's spreading. Well, we're not getting to that today, but I will explain what's going on and give you the facts so that you can decide what you want to do moving forward. So I'm going to break everything down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So let's get right down to the facts, and let's start with the most important one. Just look at this right here. It says a New Hampshire resident dies from triple E, a rare mosquito-borne virus. If you don't know what that is, that's the Eastern equine encephalitis. This has a 30% mortality rate. There is no vaccine for it. Okay, there's no medication you can take if you get this. That is why there are cities that are locking down. Now, I want to be very clear on something. These cities say they are initiating and proposing a voluntary curfew. That's it. It's a voluntary curfew. However, there are actually trucks and police officers that are driving up and down streets to ensure and enforce that people are in their homes by 6 p.m. That's right now. Then comes at the end of September, or October 1st, you have to be in your home by 5 p.m. and you cannot leave. Yeah. Does that sound like a curfew, or does that sound like you are locked in your home? Yeah, exactly. Now, we're going to touch on that in just a moment.
And you know what else too? And I don't want to keep stopping, let them play it, but when we hit this next thing, if they plan this for 2025, and as we said it, man, many times, brothers apostles said it, if they plan this for 2025, because we've been to it when 2030, we've been to Esau and had that time. But if they plan what is for 2025, as it's going to say, guess when they got to start? Right now. And the election, the perfect time to do that. The perfect time to do that. And with these lockdowns, that's going to help them out. I ain't going to stop.
In my opinion, is one of the most crucial things. But
you said something?
No, you good, bro.
Okay.
Here's the other one. It says COVID surge forces schools to close and bring back pandemic-era measures, and more are at risk as millions head back to class next week. This article is from yesterday. Now, I want to read this because, again, this is somewhat troubling. More people are experiencing these COVID symptoms. Now, some are testing, some aren't, but this is the issue. It is spreading. Well, some experts aren't too concerned about it because now we have vaccines, we have the testing, we have the means and the understanding. And so we're not too concerned. But just look at this. Schools in 2 states experienced a rise in COVID cases, announced they were closing facilities and switching to remote learning. It says Alabama and Tennessee announced the closure of the 2 schools, affecting more than 1,000 children just days into the new academic year, with officials saying the virus had forced them to shut and carry out a deep clean. Okay, here's why this is somewhat troubling. Now, I'm not here to, you need to get the shot. You don't need to get it. I'm not here to, vouch for this one way or another. I'm here to give you the facts. And the fact is this, that many schools are going to close down this year. Many schools are going to close down for deep cleaning. Some are going to close down because the spread is too much. Teachers are getting sick and they're calling in, sick, and there's no subs, right? We've had a lot of layoffs regarding schools and education, right? We don't have the teachers that we once did. Because of that, there might be certain times where classrooms don't have a teacher because there's nobody there to teach it. So again, that's part of the issue. I want to show you this. It says health experts warn against COVID complacency in schools amid the surge. Many people, and I've talked about this before, there is a new trend going on. It's called #DoNotComply. And this is something that many experts are highly concerned with, that people will not comply with what the CDC is recommending. Well, how could they? Because look at this. This is actually from the CDC. It says the CDC has no plans to close schools in the event of an Mpox outbreak. Now, Mpox, okay? Mpox is something that we can see. So again, Mpox, COVID, Triple E. What's going on at this time? What is happening? Can people actually trust what the CDC is saying, or should we not? Should we trust what the World Health Organization is saying, or should we not? Should we go against them? Well, here's one thing I can tell you. It said face masks are back in the South. Can they return to New York and New Jersey? Well, here's the thing. People are right now driving around with a face mask on because they are highly concerned. Some of which, I understand. It's understandable. They don't have the greatest immune system. So they want to protect themselves not just from COVID or Triple E or potentially Mpox, but from even something as simple as the common cold. And I understand that. But here's where things are taking a turn. I've said this before, and I will continue to say it again. We are going to see more lockdowns. And I told you this in the beginning. I told you this a couple weeks ago, that these are not technically lockdowns. They're calling them voluntary curfews. But yet they are enforcing a voluntary curfew. And according to a few reports, they will actually fine you if they see you on the street. They say it's a disturbance, and they will fine you for it. Now, this is the big issue, though. This New Hampshire resident dies from Triple E, a rare mosquito-borne virus. Now, earlier today, I took my son out for lunch for his birthday, and on the TVs, that's all we saw. Right? New Hampshire resident dies. New Hampshire resident, life taken due to rare mosquito-borne illness. That's all we saw. And everyone's eyes are just looking up at that TV. Now, here's what I can tell you. This was not in Massachusetts, or this was not in New Hampshire. Okay, this is a New Hampshire resident that died. The first case was in Oxford, Massachusetts. Look at this. It says Massachusetts towns battles rare Eastern equine encephalitis mosquito virus. State health officials announced last week a man in his 80s had caught the deadly virus. The first human case found in Massachusetts since 2020. You know what? The first case in New Hampshire? This was the first case since, I believe, 2014. So it's been 10 years. 10 years. That's why it's an issue. Look at this. This is the real problem. This mosquito virus with a 30% death rate is found in Massachusetts and New York. New York. Okay? It's found in horses in New York. I want to show you this. I want to read a little bit of this to you. Okay? Look at this right here. It says,
and the thing to remember too is remember with the CV how fast it was spreading from city to country to we seeing the same things. It's clear to see they either go lock it down or it's gonna have a big event, whatever. I watched your video earlier, the Tazapar, and you said I forget how you said it, but 2025, if anything else, it gotta be the year. Pretty much everything gotta blow. How else could it last? Like everything gotta blow. Something gotta happen.
Yeah, can't take too much more. We like at the term critical mass. The entire world is at critical mass to where if it's like it takes one more straw to break this camel's back. So yeah, I said that just based on, where else do we have left to go? We're looking at the MOTB. We're in the preliminary stages of the third woe. So, what you think we're gonna be, our people gonna be going to baseball games and shit the next couple of years, 3-4 years, still doing the same shit? Nah. Yeah, just judging from prophecy. But yeah, bro.
I got a quick precept hitting on those lockdowns because we about to see all these things. And again, it's not just because the mosquitoes, as it will make sense. That's just a little smoke screen or an excuse to use to take everybody, well, that's smoke screen, but take everybody's mind off what they doing. But on top of that, you have people suffering. There ain't no jobs, ain't making money. All is gonna add up, and that's when people gonna have enough. This is 2 Ezra 15. Oh, and elections around the corner. And you know what's different with this dude said? Remember when they first started having the lockdowns or even giving people are option to lock it down. They have police all on the street. Well, or at least where we at, they had no police right on the street to make sure 4 years ago that you was in the house at a certain time. But he's saying now they got police ride on the street. And it would make sense in more cities they bring more lockdowns. They would have a group there to enforce it because they know people ain't going for that no more. The first time people was in fear and scared and they seen how it played out, people ain't going for being locked down no more. So they're gonna have to have some type of army or police force there. And that's exactly what 2nd Ezra 15 go into. Everything is right there. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 14 in the GNT. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. World War III. It says nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. And there will be great political turmoil. We seeing that.
Yeah, it's happening. Yep.
Now you can speak on it. You can speak on it. I'll read it for you. If you want.
All right.
It says 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 GNT. It says there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government.
Yeah. You see how that shit. We just had a coup. That's what people calling it, with Kamala Harris pretty much taking over for Joe Biden. And now she's one of the presidential front runners for the Democratic Party, you know. And that's just them doing what the hell they want to do. Now they got orders. That ain't Kamala just doing what she want to do. She has her marching orders, but it's political turmoil. So all of these things are playing out in the earth right now. And then even a black woman, Jake waking up, that's paying attention, they're waking up. The black woman said, she went to the DNC and she said that, Kamala, she don't speak to issues. She doesn't address any policies or issues. And the whole time, the lady said, she said Trump's name like 200 times. Because that's what it's about right now. It's one party trying to overthrow another party to keep their personal shit from getting out, in the open. Because a lot of these people have been on the Lolita Express. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Lolita Express, that's the Jeff Epstein's it was his personal jet where he would fly these prominent figures to his island, Fantasy Island. That's basically Jeffrey Epstein. He was Mr. York. You come to his island, you fulfill your fantasies. If your fantasy is pedophilia and pederasty and any other sexual deviancy. But anyway, these key political figures right now, and I'll exclude Trump from this, but they're not speaking on behalf of the people. And really, I can't exclude Trump because he get up there and he just started talking shit too. But I said, Trump will speak to issues, but shit, he'll start talking shit too and go on a rant. But yeah, man, I mean, this, I ain't gonna go off on a tangent, but these things are playing out, man. And knowing the scriptures, you know what's going on. And you can kind of, read into where this is going. And where it's going for everybody in the world, but especially here in America, is not good. So anyway, you can continue.
Con. Second Ezra 15 and 16 in the GNT, it says there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while
Hey, brother. Shit. Who the Maduro? What the fuck is that? I can't call it, but they had big political turmoil,
mm-hmm.
and shit. They
Shit,
say
Israel.
Maduro really didn't win. You know, he didn't win the popular vote, and they don't believe he won. Period. But he's in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, just to point out, and I'm sorry I can't remember where. Maybe a brother could put that in the chat where that election took place. It was somewhere in South America.
Venezuela.
Okay, Tuwata, Venezuela.
Oh man, check that out. It says so like I don't mean to cut you off, but just to show you the
no.
scriptures, because it say this was put out 4 hours or 1 day ago. It says the EU won't recognize the democratic, now look at this word, legitimacy of Venezuela Maduro top diplomat. So they rejected. It says the EU reject Maduro from Venezuela election when claimed. Now it said legitimate, but that's in the scripture right here. Verse 16, there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. That's in his article.
You can't make this up, bro. The scriptures are playing out in real time in the physical. The scriptures, what you're reading, what I'm reading, is playing out in real life. Look at that, bro. You can't make that up, bro. Read that again.
It says no democratic legitimacy. The EU rejects Maduro's Venezuela election win claim. And the scripture says there will be great political turmoil, 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 in the GNT, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government.
And that happened here in 2020.
Man.
Trump had to have won. I don't have the receipts because they won't put it out there, but it's a lot of evidence showing that Trump got robbed. So they ignored the legitimate winner of the election. And that's why I say the coup took place in 2020. Not this recent shit with Kamala Harris, but going back, and then you can go back to Bush and Gore, but these times are more pressing. And Trump was ignored and then told, don't speak about it. And anybody that speak about it will get canceled or considered a conspiracy theorist, labeled as cuckoo. But yeah, you can go ahead.
Man, that's cool. So look, all this gonna lead to what? What this dude just said. All this confusion, the government beefing, this is gonna lead to this. It says, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. Verse 17, and there will no longer be free access to the cities. Why? So that was next. That's next after the government.
Right.
While the government beefing, the lockdown's next.
I got a precept for that already when you finish. I was gonna bring it out when you finish.
Okay, I'll finish it real quick. It says there will no longer be free access to the cities, right? Because it is lockdown, schools closing. It says, and it's gonna tell us why these lockdowns gonna come. On top of the government beefing and us being close to World War III, it says there will no longer be free access to the cities because that's the reason, because the struggle for power, right? The struggle for power will bring destruction. So as these governments beefing against each other, the nations, as is in-house beefing, Democrat
Right.
and Republican in
Right.
America, that's gonna bring hard times for the citizens, man. It says the struggle for power will bring destruction. Look, well, the lights might go out. Then what's gonna happen? The people gonna riot, things gonna get lit on fire, the city's gonna be destroyed. The struggle for power will bring destruction. What else? And terror. A lot of people about to be in fear. People about to be outside and see a mosquito and run. And run. Look.
I
Nobody
see
going camping.
motherfuckers jumping. Yeah. Swatting
What you
and
say?
jumping and shit.
God, ain't no more camping, nobody doing nothing no more because they're gonna be scared of a mosquito. It says because the struggle for power will bring terror, and this is why the lockdowns go come. Because I gotta read it all together. Salaki, I'm getting a little excited. There will be no longer free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction. So they're gonna lock the cities down because of this destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Driven by, so people gonna riot because driven by famine and terrible suffering. People will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. It's clear we're in those times. It
and
just
and
told us
you
plainly that you gotta advertise about.
no, make your point.
No, I was just about to say, it just told us plainly as we get close to World War III, these nations go be beefing, even governments, the same government, and it's gonna be lockdowns because it's gonna be terror and confusion wherever people live, driven by it's been a lack of food. People can't and don't have no help. So that's why they're gonna go to their neighbor and take their neighbor stuff. Man, we in that time. You got it though.
Yeah, no, what you got highlighted. All right. The struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Now, what that's denoting right there is a breakdown of society. When society breaks down, you have mass confusion. That's what the world is about to see. Because that's what happens in the struggle, in a powerful struggle. You have a power vacuum, and you know the two factions that's going at it. They is you can't have order in a power vacuum until one side or the other takes command and sets law. So while the two factions are going at it, it can't be order because whose order would it be? So in other words, the one side want to do it one way, just like we see with the Republicans and the Democrats. The other side want to do it the other way. And if it's a breakdown in society, you know, what do people do? And this is why the scripture going to the people going to take matters into their own hands. How is that worded out? It's in that same chapter, I believe.
You're probably thinking of the KJV version.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It says the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Kind of, I get it. That's the KJV version. Kind of, I got you. This Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16 in the KJV. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power."
Yeah, anarchy. Hey, if there's no rule of law, you got anarchy. So in other words, shit, I live by my law. And right now, my law say to survive. And that's what everybody's going to be in survival mode. But yeah, brother. Yeah, I just wanted to make that point. You had some more on that?
Oh no, that was it. That was it.
Well, I want to go with that real quick. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So we're talking about the political turmoil. Well, those two horns just happen to be the two-party system of Babylon, aka America. All right, your Republicans and the Democrats. So those are the two horns. That's the power of this corporation, this democratic system with its two parties. All right, horns are representative of power. So it said, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So like you was going into, you know, it, at least here in Houston, I don't know about every little hood and whatever, but you you didn't see a heavy police presence during the lockdowns. But now they're talking about police, patrolling to make sure these voluntary curfews are enforced. You see? Then what's the next step after that? Shoot to kill orders. So niggas ain't gonna listen. Then it's gonna be shoot to kill orders. And in the video that I posted yesterday, the lady mentioned she was reading from a NASA document, same one that the WEF that you about to go into, same document, from NASA. She's saying that she said something to the effect of prime time torture, live in color and prime time torture of the people. Trump been talking about that. At least not the torture, but he want to bring back what they call it, capital punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he mentioned about putting it on TV.
Yeah, and he said firing squads.
Yeah, firing squads, all of that. And I think he spoke about having it televised.
Yep.
But if they set up death squads through these police, which might be foreigners, we've been prophesying that for years. But we thought they was gonna bring in the UN troops. But we know that some of these illegals have already been taking law enforcement positions. So, what happens when they're given shoot to kill orders? Anybody you see out past curfew, shoot first, ask questions later. You know, that's the beast speaking as a dragon. All right. That goes into draconian legislation. With draconian legislation, it lays out harsh penalties for minute infractions of laws, penal codes, statutes, whatever. So just like someone breaking the curfew, get shot in the head, and it's going to end up on social media. There's cameras everywhere. So that could be going into what she was saying. Yeah, firing squads, his second term. Yeah, and the guillotine. So yeah, man, we are in the end game. But go ahead, brother. That's all I wanted to bring out.
It says, as a reminder, the Trump administration executed more people than any presidential administration in more than 120 years.
Damn. You see? I wouldn't have known that.
So we can hop into this and we can end it after this if you ain't had nothing else. So this
Uh,
article, I'm sure y'all already seen it. I know the Elder Manatazakba, he did a lesson on it. The Elder Tazapa did a lesson on it. A few other brothers did lessons on it as well. And again, as you know, we've been saying this is a WEF document, and this is what they planning. They the elites, they so-called run this current world, and it as they would think, right? But this they plans for 2025. Now I know you did a lesson at Elder Tazapa, so I don't know if you want to speak on it or just go ahead and hop into it.
I mean, you can go into it. I ain't really got nothing. If something hit my mind while you're reading, I bring it out.
All right, I got you. So I just kind of read through it and I just play the
Yeah,
video.
we can just bring out the gist of it. We ain't got to go deep. Brother, just go check out the elders' video, Elder Manata Zakba.
Matter of fact, I'm
When
gonna put it.
SC teacher is his page.
So I just put this article too in a chat, but I'll read through it real quick. It says, so like it's from the peoplesvoice.com, put out August 22nd, 2024. And it says the WEF or World Economic, Forum, it says document confirms 6 billion humans will die in 2025.
And that's a NASA document that they're referring to. Go ahead.
It says the global elite have been warning us about their plans to radically depopulate the earth by any means necessary. And now the results are playing out before our eyes.
Yep.
It says if we have any hope of let me see. So let's hit it right here. It says the WEF co-founder Klaus Schwab was caught boasting in a loose lip moment with reporters that Agenda 2030 is a red herring or ruse to throw normies off the scent. And a lot of people have been talking about the 2020-30 agenda is the 2020-30, which hey, I said it myself too. They were 2020-30. But I'm gonna say this too. We know Esau, they said they plan for 2020-30, but we always said you ain't got that time like that. It gotta be before. Now coming out in his article is showing it's in a couple more months as they planning. We know he ain't got time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna wait on them. Revelation 12. We know Esau ain't got time. You ain't got 2020-30.
And you're right. But what they're saying is like the Job 20 and what I think is 23 when he is about to fill his belly. So he want to be eaten by 2030.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying. So they want to have everything up and running, set and ready to go come 2030. And they in their utopia, which would be a dystopian nightmare for those that are left here on the earth. But yeah, we come into the time where the scriptures say, the Lord shall cast the fury of his vengeance upon him, when he is about to fill his belly. So we in that time, he's about to feel it, but he's not going to feel it. But you got it out.
That's right. It says in reality. So if they's gonna have this planet 2030 for a lot of people to die, one that show you that the Jews actually had a big part in this.
Definitely.
Because what they put on it, a 3 to 5 year, man, did they not say that a 3 to 5 year period where they gonna see what the effects of the Jews gonna be? They put that out there. Well, next year gonna be the year 5. Man, it's gonna get real interesting. It says in reality, the situation is more urgent than that. 2025 is the year the elite are earmarking for massive worldwide population decline And according to Schwab, the goal of reducing the population by more than 6 billion people is on track to be achieved.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what it's going to go into, it says an ABC journalist reported that she was summoned to Davos earlier this month for the regular meeting where Klaus Schwab briefs the mainstream media on how which narratives to promote in order to advance the globalist agenda, or which narratives to promote in order to advance the globalist agenda. And this is why we'll be seeing people like Will I Am, the famous people, and I remember him because he always there, the dude from Black Eyed Peas. But politicians from all over, celebrities from all over, people who got influence from all over, they gonna invite them there to say, look, this is the way we gonna want to do everything. So that's why newscasters, so them people sent out with an agenda. And you know what? I found this clip on the Ties of Power. I may play this because I remember Klaus Schwab said this, how their goal was to penetrate cabinets. And they did that. It's done with.
Yeah.
He even said Putin, and you be saying that. Putin, he even said Putin, he been coming there since he was young. Matter of fact, it's on the screen. but we been got Putin. He said that. Matter of fact, let's read some more of this article, and I'm gonna play that other video. So it says, and a
To
journalist
show you,
noted,
going back to El Ariala, this all just control opposition. With Russia and the U.S. They just control opposition. But the Lord is gonna make the beef real. The beef ain't really no beef, but the Lord is gonna turn the beef real. But you got it out.
Man, it says the journalist noted that it was her first time attending the monthly media meeting in Davos, though some of her colleagues have been participating for years. So she's gonna go ahead and give her what she heard from Klaus Schwab and how she felt about it, so on and so forth. Let's see if we got anything else. Okay, so let's play a little bit of it. Matter of fact, before we play that video, because I want to play this video of him saying it himself, which is gonna give more of a confirmation on what she gonna say. So I'm gonna read this first, and I'm gonna play this quick video from Klaus Schwab. It says Schwab has every reason to feel confident in the fulfillment of his evil plans. He has recruited, now check this out. He has recruited the majority of the cabinets and the governments of Western nations, subverting our democracies. It ain't just Western nations. It says the WEF generation of young global leaders have destroyed the inside of once great nations of the UK, France, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. But again, in out his own mouth, he go even mention Putin. It says the mainstream media, the education system, and science have been compromised by the global elite, paid off by the eugenicists, billionaires, and megalomaniacs to become mouthpieces of the global. So the apostles be calling Bishop Nate a megalomaniac. So he probably going along with the agenda too. Now probably pushing Jesus, so he is.
Yeah. He ain't teaching about the MOTB.
Come on.
Oh shit.
Man,
Yeah.
so look, it says billionaires and megalomaniacs to become mouthpieces of. So he ain't a mouthpiece of the Lord no more. He a mouthpiece of Claus, mouthpieces of the globalist agenda. Now, you got it.
Nah, you good.
Now check this out, man. Check this video out. Let's get it from Claus Schwab's mouth, and we're gonna play this video of this woman, and it's gonna confirm on what this man gonna say. Now, this is, I don't know who this channel is, but I'll put this in the chat. And it's from Klaus Schwab. And he gonna say we gonna penetrate the cabinets. Check him out.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
I'm gonna go back. And when he say young leaders, he ain't talking about Putin became a leader 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when Putin was 40. No, they come into these things when they're young. The apostle spoke on it, the picture of I think Bill Clinton or whoever with JFK. They come into these things and be prepped and made for these situations, man, and put into position. But check out what he's gonna say.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin, and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Now I'm gonna look for that whole video. Lord willing, I'll find it. But you heard what the man said. We penetrate cabinets. You know, how Jake today say how they pull up on niggas. Klaus Schwab said they penetrate cabinets. Everybody from Putin to Angela Merkel, the old generation, new generation. He said, I know for sure everybody in Trudeau government, which is Canada, they all World Economic Forum understudies.
Yeah. Yep.
So now let's see what this woman gonna say.
World Economic Forum reports hiding in plain sight confirms that upwards of 6 billion people will die in 2025. And according to reports from Davos, Klaus Schwab has confirmed the stated goal is on target to be achieved. The global elite have been warning us about their plans to radically depopulate the Earth by any means necessary. And now the results are playing out before our eyes. If we have any hope of stopping them from achieving their goal of murdering the vast majority of humanity and turning Earth into a prison planet to enslave the rest, this information in the report must be shared far and wide. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already, and sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cyber nation that truly believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of your dreams. Visit joson.com and click the Join Us button today. It's completely free. WF co-founder Klaus Schwab was caught boasting in a loose-lipped moment with reporters that Agenda 2030 is a red herring or ruse to throw normies off the scent. In reality, the situation is more urgent than that. 2025 is the year the elites are earmarking for massive worldwide depopulation. And according to Schwab, the goal of reducing the population by more than 6 billion people is on track to be achieved. A BBC journalist reported that she was summoned to Davos earlier this month. She describes Klaus as being strange,
though most of my colleagues had been
almost as if he were intoxicated.
So here it is. This is what she gonna say, y'all.
In order to advance the globalist agenda. The journalist noted that it was her first time attending the monthly media meeting in Davos, though some of her colleagues have been participating for years. She describes Klaus as being strangely emotional, almost as if he were intoxicated, laughing frequently, and reminiscing in a sociopathic manner about the depopulation agenda, which he admitted has been intricately planned for decades.
It was my first time visiting Klaus's lair, though most of my colleagues had been there before. They warned me it would be unsettling, but nothing could have prepared me for what I experienced. They weren't surprised by what happened, but I was horrified. The place was surreal, like something out of a nightmare. Scrupulously clean, yet sinister, and perched high in the Swiss mountains. When I met him, I expected cold calculation, and yeah, that was there. But what I didn't expect was the strange, almost emotional state he was in. He was laughing, almost drunkenly, as he recounted his plans. It was as if he was reminiscing fondly about some long-held dream. He started talking about the depopulation agenda, and that's when it really hit me. He wasn't just outlining some distant theory. He was recalling it like a twisted memory, something carefully planned for decades. He said, "The chickens are finally coming home to roost." There was something about this phrase that made me feel sick to my stomach, and it wasn't just because of his accent. His voice would waver between chilling calm and sudden bursts of laughter, as if he found the whole thing amusing in the most grotesque way. He spoke about the plan to eradicate 6 billion people by next year, but it wasn't this idea alone that shook me, it was how he delivered it. There was a bizarre mix of pride and nostalgia in his tone. He spoke slowly and clearly, as if he were recounting a great achievement. He even seemed to get choked up at one point, as if this horror he was planning was something deeply personal to him. My colleagues, they'd warned me, but they seemed almost resigned to it. They weren't shocked, not like I was. To them, it was just another story, another day. But to me, it was a nightmare come to life. The way he spoke, the way he laughed about it. It was like he was planning a practical joke, not plotting mass murder. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He was utterly convinced this was the right course, that this was the future. And in that moment, I realized just how real the danger was. This wasn't just a madman's rant. It was a meticulously planned operation, decades in the making. I've never felt so helpless knowing that I was face to face with someone who had the power and the intent to carry out the most horrifying agenda imaginable. And the worst part? He seemed to enjoy every minute of it.
Schwab has every reason to feel confident in.
There you have it. I get that Job if you wanna hit it real quick, because that's exactly what.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, yeah.
Kind of just
But
because.
for the brothers out there, you may still can find it on YouTube. It was a video called "Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars," and that's pretty much what they're going to be putting into effect. These silent weapons. All right, a bioweapon is silent, but it inflicts a lot of damage. Then again, they have these frequency weapons, from HARP down to, these sound cannons and stuff that not only can they direct you or affect you directly, but they can, I guess, set off that solution from the pandemic. All right, that vaccine. There's certain elements within that vaccine that can come online with certain frequencies that cause, they say that hydrogel contains pathogens, and they're not sure exactly which pathogens. One that they do believe that is in the hydrogel is the Marburg virus, which causes hemorrhagic fever. And so these are the things, which is why he's boasting and so confident, because they have these solid weapons in place, ready to go. The infrastructure has been built since 2000. Man, I'm sure even before 2000. I mean 2020. I'm sorry, since 2020. When you start to see those what the purple lights and shit go up, and all of this, these what we know as 5G towers. These are weapon systems. These are weapon systems. But yeah, brother, you got it.
Now I just get this Revelation 12. We can end it on that. Thought I brought the points. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time."
Yes, sir.
We'll speak on it.
You got it. Go ahead.
That is that's it. As we know, the devil, he got a physical counterpart on earth, which he worked through the nation of Edom, which today is known as the so-called white man, woman, and child. No matter if you're in Russia or Europe or America, y'all the Edomites. And granted, Israelites could look like anybody, but the ones running the world are wicked. That's the devil right now. The ones in power, as we just seen, for example, Klaus Schwab. which is even people over him. Nevertheless, the rulers of the world, Esau, Edom, whose kingdom and age this for, they know they about to lose it. And therefore, they're going to move with great wrath because they know their time is short. And
Yep.
if you about to lose a game, what you going to do? You're going to pull out all the stops, the trick plays, everything you got. That's what we're about to see. He about to get desperate, man. And when a base man get desperate, who knows what they expect? So,
Yep.
Khan, that's it though. That's
Well,
all I
we
have.
can end it on that then.
Khan. Want to take us out?
Well, hey, with that, we pray that you brothers and sisters were edified, in this message. And we're going to say, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim,
All
Chakwadash.
praises. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. So, to the next one, Shalom. Y'all stay up.
Shalom.
Stay vigilant.